Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. Today we are going to be looking at the Armytek Prime C2 Pro Max, and as a lot of you guys know, I'm a big fan of Armytek flashlights. They've just got an exceptional attention to detail and quality with all their products. I've reviewed mainly tactile lights from them. That's more my interest, but today I've got something different with the Prime C2 Pro Max. It is their flagship side switch light. And it's something, I don't have a whole lot of side switch flashlights. I do prefer tactile lights, but this one puts out 4,000 lumens. And I have the warm version as well that produces 3,720 lumens. So it's a little bit less than the cool white. So let's have a look at what you get in the box. So this is the basic packaging. As you can see here, it does have some specifications. You want to pause the video, have a bit of a read of what it says here on the back, but I'll go through all of this stuff anyway. You've got the lumen outputs also here on the side, so you can also pause the video if you want to take a look at these. You get a nice nylon holster, great quality, and also has this bit here at the back that you can attach to your belt. On the other side of the box, you've got an 18650 cell adapter. If you want to use this light with 18650s, maybe that's all you have on you, so it's always a good option. And you have a lanyard here as well, plus charging port, magnetic charging. So this just connects right onto the back of the light like that. That plugs into the USB, and a couple of spare O-rings. It's also important to mention that Armytek offer a 10-year warranty on the Prime C2 Pro Max, so that's good peace of mind. There are some pretty impressive IP68 specs as well. So 10 meters is rated for 10 meters submersion for 5 hours, which I think is better than most other flashlights out there, and also for 10-meter falls, which, like I said, significantly higher spec than other competitors out there. Little bit of a comparison between the Armytek C2 Pro Max with a few other side switch flashlights here. Plus I've got the Nightcore P23i, which is a tactical flashlight. So you can see here Convoy M21F, it's even smaller than that. And it's bezel size, pretty similar, but they've managed to keep the length down. And, you've got other ones here, another 21700 cell light, the Wuben C2, Next Torch P84. So it's definitely one of the smaller 21700 cell flashlights out there, even compared to the Nightcore P23i. It's a bit shorter, but of course you've got that larger bezel. So here is a close-up of the Armytek Prime C2 Pro Max, and I'll describe it as having a pretty compact light design, especially like you saw before, comparing it to some other 21700 cell lights. It actually weighs only 200 grams, the battery included. So definitely, light for a 4,000 lumen flashlight. The bezel, as you can see, is significantly larger than the rest of the body. There are some small, slim cutouts here in the head to help dissipate heat. Tastefully done. And there's no knurling on the battery tube. Some of you might be worried about that, but the great thing about this light is that the anodizing is really something special. It's matte black, extremely grippy. It's probably the grippiest anodizing out of all of the flashlights that I have in my collection. It's even grippy when you're using it with wet hands. For some reason, I just find the anodizing on these Armytek flashlights to also be much more durable than most of my other lights, and that might be due to the thickness or composition of the anodizing layer, but it definitely is more resistant to scratching and knocks. I sometimes carry these a few lights in my bag and they knock around a little bit with each other, but I never have any scratches or issues with my Armytek lights. There's no clip on this light, but you do get a holster. It makes sense. I mean, given that the clip is going to be a little bit awkward if you're trying to clip it into your pocket, but it would still be nice to maybe have one if you were to just clip it directly onto your belt. I appreciate that Armytek are using this large yellow switch here. It's very easy to find it. Also requires a firm press to activate the light. You can see just on the side of the switch there are these indentations. If you're using the light in the dark, you're going to be able to find that switch pretty easily. It also functions as a battery and temperature indicator, so it blinks at certain intervals to tell you when the battery is running low and if the light's running too hot. Okay, here we have a little peek under the bezel and you can see, I'm pretty sure this is an XHP 70.2 or 70.3. I can't find the specs of the LED in the manual or online, but definitely looks like that. The warm version, SMO, smooth reflector as well to maximize throw, and some light crenulation. They've focused this reflector very nicely. It's difficult with these larger LEDs. Like I mentioned, you can run this light off 18650 cells, and Armytek don't require you to use any proprietary cells as well, so you can use any branded 21700 to 18650 batteries. The charging cable, like I showed you before, just attaches to the back of the flashlight. Okay, so I'm going to go through the UI, just show you how this light works. And there are two UIs in here. There's the simple and the advanced UI. And in order to switch these mode groupings, you have to unscrew the tail cap, press down on the side switch, and screw it back in again. Pretty simple. I'll show you once we switch over to the advanced UI. But at the moment, we're going to go on the simple UI. Basically, press and hold the switch. You've got two Firefly modes, 3 of the main modes here. Okay, and it just cycles between the 3 main modes. But when you turn it off, press and hold, it goes back to those Firefly modes. Okay, but yeah, once the light is on, you can't really cycle through those Firefly modes again. It's only the 3 main modes like that. What you can do as well is just double press at any stage to go into the turbo mode, as you can see there. Okay, so in the advanced mode, from the off stage, basically just press and hold and you can activate Firefly 1, Firefly 2, also the main 1, 2, and 3, and also the turbo mode as well. Now in the advanced UI, there are some different sections that you can choose from. So if you double click, this allows you to access the main modes. So basically just 1, 2, 3, 3 main modes. And that's all that it will cycle. Another double click will bring you back to the Firefly section, which is just low and just high Firefly mode, very, very low modes. Now, if you go to the 3 clicks, 1, 2, 3, that brings you to the turbo section. And there's 2 modes here, like turbo 1 and turbo 2. You just press and hold to cycle between them. Okay, 4 clicks will bring you to the strobe section. And again, you can just press and hold to go through a few different strobe functions in there. This is just like a blinking beacon light. This is like a lower mode beacon, bright beacon and lower mode. And that's basically it. I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests. This is the first one here on the turbo 2 mode, so 3720 lumens, pretty much maxed out, and impressively the light lasts just close to 2 minutes on that turbo before it steps down to about 20% of its output, where it remains for the rest of the test. I also ran a second ceiling bounce test here on the turbo 1 mode, so 1300 lumens, and as you can see, there's pretty much maintains that output all the way past the 30-minute mark where I ended the test. The Prime C2 Pro Max produces a really large even hotspot, tons of spill as well with this XHP 72 or 70.3, and illuminates a really large area if you're looking for a light that just produces, lots of spill. It's impressive, in terms of its throw for its size as well, and the SMO reflector does help a lot. I also ran a bunch of tests with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here on the Turbo 2 mode, I got 315 meters of throw. So impressive for a light of this size. Even on the Turbo 1, 175 meters is pretty respectable given that it is sustainable output. CRI ranged from 70 to 73, so pretty standard there. This LED is designed for visibility, and the CRI range from 4,000 to 4,100K on my warm edition. So some considerations you might want to be aware of with this flashlight. Obviously, it has proprietary charging, which on one hand makes it much easier to connect charger onto it, but you will need to carry more cables with you, and if you lose it, you're kind of in some trouble unless you've got an external charger like I do. I mean, I tend to charge my lights with an external charger anyway, but that's one factor. The second consideration is the advanced UI. That second UI mode, a little bit much, I think. I like to keep things on the simple mode grouping. So for most people, I'd suggest using that grouping, which has about 6 modes. The 10 mode grouping is probably going to confuse a lot of you out there. It took me a bit to understand how to use it with the manual as well. And the third consideration is the price. So this light does cost a bit more than other side switch flashlights out there, especially if you compare some of the budget options out there. But this light has regulated output, superior quality. It's got a 10-year warranty as well. So yeah, that's what you're paying for. So overall, the Armytek Prime C2 Pro Max is one of the best side switch flashlights out there. And sure, there's tons of cheaper options, but with the Prime C2 Pro Max, you do get superior build quality, durability, that peace of mind as well with a 10-year warranty, regulated output. Really impressed even with that Turbo 1 output, with it holding 1,200, 300 lumens for the duration of the test. And also 2 minutes turbo runtime is quite impressive for a light of this size. So if you're interested in getting one, go ahead and check the link in the description. I have a special discount code that you can get 10% off. If you have questions, just let me know as well in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps YouTube to recommend it to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and up-to-date news, make sure you subscribe. Alrighty, so I have got the Armytek Prime C2 Pro Max and we're going to test out the turbo modes first. Okay, this is the first turbo mode, so Turbo 1. And it's really noticeable how warm this light is. Okay, and that is the full 3,720 lumen mode. This is impressive. Look, there's even a little possum there under the tree that I've disturbed, wandering across, all dazed across the field. And remember, this Turbo 2 mode right here lasts for 2 minutes before stepping down. So pretty impressive. And the Turbo 1 mode here, this doesn't step down at all. So you can run this for as long as you want until the battery gives out. Okay, but geez, that full mode, that max mode is really impressive. Just the sheer amount of light coming out. It reaches those trees down the back, but it's just like this huge hotspot in the center and tons of spill. I'll go through some of the main modes as well. Okay, so that's main 1, 2, wait, 1, 2, 3. Main 1, 2, 3. Okay, the Firefly modes are probably too dim to be able to see on camera here, but main 3, main 2 and main 3 are pretty good to be, walking lights. Remember, there is a bit of ambient light around here. I'm on a golf course the other side of the road, so yep. Back to the turbo. Look at that. I'm going to have a bit of a walk so you can see the beam profile. Armytek Prime C2 Pro Max. That is on Turbo 2, 3,720 lumens. Jeez. This is This is pretty impressive, and I love that warm beam. I mean, I've been playing around with a lot of lights that are about 6,000K tonight, and this is kind of just much more easier on the eyes. It's so hard to focus a large LED in a reflector, smaller reflector like this, and so Armytek have done really well. Switch to the Turbo 1 mode. So this Turbo 1 mode does not step down. Look at that. Still really bright. We'll go to the main modes. So main 1, 2, 3. Just let it cycle. Yeah, that main 3 mode is not, I mean, that is going to be absolutely fine for your general walking light. Even the main 2 is probably overdoing it. The main 2 is enough, really. Okay. But I mean, look at that. That's just this wall of light with a huge bright hot spot in the center. The great thing is that you can turn it off, turn it back on, and it memorizes the last mode. So you really have access to that Turbo 2 mode very quickly if you need to. I'll go for a little walk again.